Next, we have the liaison to that Navajo Nation, Mark Freeland.
Yat Beno ye. Shay Mark Freeland shajne. Lay twachi dana shaya. Tutsoni shlo. Adot kiani bushes chin. Senji kene dashes che. Adot sinan betlationale. Lay tell dana leshe. Office of the President, Vice President. Good morning, Santa Fe. My name is Mark Freeland. I'm an executive staff assistant on behalf of President Russell Begay and Vice President Jonathan Nez, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. We want to thank the Honorable Mayor Gonzalez, as well as the City of Santa Fe City Council for inviting us here today. The Navajo Nation stands united with all of our brother and sister tribes here today. We have over 330,000 strong, in 3 states, 27,000 square miles of land out in the Navajo Nation that are in New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. And for us, it's always a story of resiliency on Navajo. Each day, we fight to celebrate Indigenous Day. We fight to help our people each and every day. And that's what is important for us on Navajo. So we just want to say thank you to the City of Santa Fe for the invitation. And what I wanted to do is read a couple of statements from both President Begay and Vice President Nez. On Monday, October 2nd, President Russell Begay and Vice President Jonathan Nez both signed a proclamation declaring the second Monday in October as an Indigenous People Day on the Navajo Nation. In the proclamation, President Begay stated that the Navajo Nation recognizes its responsibility to honor the history of Indigenous people and their contributions to the great nation we know as the United States of America. This proclamation encourages our Navajo schools, other education institutions, enterprises, businesses, and organizations to also recognize Indigenous Peoples Day. Since time immemorial, the Navajo people have known their home to exist within the 4 sacred mountains. Indigenous people have lived and existed throughout the Americas long before the arrival of the Europeans or Spaniards. From the arrival of Christopher Columbus forward, Indigenous people have fought and struggled against the consequential colonialization, systematic genocide, and forced removal imposed on us. Yet we are still here. Both our people and traditions have remained intact. For these reasons, and to correct the terribly misguided history written against us, we will no longer acknowledge Columbus Day. That's from President Russell Begay. The story of our Navajo people is a story of resilience. Our people had faith and embraced hope that they would one day return to the Nebekea as they were forcibly removed to Huelde. The spirit of pride and resilience flows within all of our veins as it had within our ancestors. We need to look at how they triumphed over such great adversity to bring us home and help us build a great Navajo nation. Our struggles are mirrored across every Indigenous nation the world over. We are reclaiming this holiday as a day to celebrate our existence and perseverance. That is from Vice President Jonathan Nez. Thank you. What Vice President Nez mentioned on that was a couple of things. I spoke a little bit about resiliency, but the story of the long walk is a part of our history, of who we are as Navajo. The sacred place we know as Huelde, or imprisonment down at Fort Sumner, is a very sacred story for us. And next year, in 2018, we will be celebrating our 150th anniversary of the signing of the treaty with the United States government. And we will be bringing back the original treaty to Window Rock from the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and displaying that for all of our children to see and learn from that time period. As I mentioned before, it's a very sacred time for us. And during that celebration, we're also going to have a run back from Fort Sumner to Window Rock, over 300 miles long. So we're going to have runners back on that time next year. So just a little bit about that and what we want to, the stories that we want to share with our young generation and helping them understand the history of Navajo. For us as well, it's important that we keep our tradition and our language alive. And there's a lot of intergenerational teaching going on right now on Navajo. And it's really awesome to see our elders are teaching our youth how to speak Navajo. And they're telling them the stories of the cycles of the seasons. This past weekend, we had a big celebration in Shiprock, up in the northwest part of the state. And culturally and traditionally, we had, we're getting ready for winter. All of the harvesting has happened. We're getting ready for winter. We're bringing in all of our food in. And we're also having our deities come out, our winter deities. We had the Yebiches come out. So it's a very sacred time and changing of the seasons for us. So that's the story of who we are and what we're about. Today I want to, of course, also include honoring our veterans as well as our elders today. So if there are any veterans out there, thank you. And of course, all of our elders, all of our tribal elders, thank you as well. You are the gatekeepers. You are the ones who keep the traditions and the stories alive for each and every one of us. So thank you. Like I mentioned before, we appreciate the invitation, Mayor Gonzalez, and we appreciate the city of Santa Fe proclaiming this day as Indigenous Peoples Day. You are a very unique set of cities across this land. From Los Angeles to Seattle, back to Boston and the East Coast, there's a handful of you that are very welcoming in proclaiming this day as Indigenous Peoples Day. And we celebrate with you and we stand united with you, each and every one of you. Even Farmington, New Mexico, I almost forgot to mention them. They proclaimed Indigenous Peoples Day last week. So thank you, Farmington, New Mexico. But we hope to stay around all of us as Indigenous people for a very long time. And we stand united with you all. We stand united today and every day. So with that, thank you very much for your time, for your consideration, of course, for the respect that each one of us have for one another. May God bless each and every one of you, and may the Holy Spirit and Haskingi, way up in our Creator, be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.